I have spent billions of years in this prison.
Disgusting creatures. Should be glad for Project Echo. All of our work to make them complete. They'll never know.
Solace, a planet created after the Great Anomaly as a refuge for those who had lost their homes, families, and livelihoods. Freya, a Lumeran, a being made of pure energy, created the planet in hopes of bringing some peace to the universe after such a tragedy. The Great Anomaly had wiped out 90% of the universe's population, collapsing civilizations and instilling panic in every remaining entity. Those spared were left to pick up the pieces of their homes, cities, and planets. 5 years had passed since the Great Anomaly, and Solace had gradually become a haven for survivors. Nations thrived under the hand of Freya, though not without difficulties. The wars of the past eras had left their mark, but Freya hoped that Solace could turn a new leaf and finally collaborate in this era. Some newer factions had appeared on the planet. Monocorp, a corporation focused on military power and wealth. Monomon, a monarchy of druids and mages, and Frostfire, a kingdom led by its leaders Krufik and Fivehead. These would become large, powerful nations on Solace, whether that was a good thing or not. Captain Marcello had finally put the Arcturus to rest. Plans were made to dismantle the ship at the end of the year and turn it into housing and a new, upgraded ship, one that could hold every member of Solace if needed. This era was working out to be the most peaceful yet. Hope was visible on the horizon for what was left of all creatures in the universe. In the spring, during a trip for supplies, 2 members of Solace found a campfire with a partially burnt journal. The 2 brought the journal back to the librarians and Freya, hoping to discover who it may have belonged to. Most of the pages were unsalvageable, however, except for one half page. The only words recognizable were still not enough to determine its author. Much easier if so impatient. Assigned to this planet, scanning for the blank of them. Almost show 98.4%. Than to action. The number 98.4% caught the eye of the leaders of Solace. What could that mean? There was nothing else to confirm, only speculation for now. Before the traditional venture into the End by the inhabitants, the Arcturus picked up a transmission coming from outside the solar system to someone on the planet. Cypher, come in. Do you read, Cypher? Cypher here. You have not responded to our transmissions in days. I was at risk of being discovered. The barrier moved suddenly. Report your progress. 98.4%. Very good. We are almost ready. I have worked hard. In fact, I was wondering... We will be waiting. Do not let them discover you, Cypher. Very well. Cypher out. Cypher. This was the individual on Solace, and there was that number again, 98.4%. This communication revealed that this was more than just an individual exploring the planet, but perhaps someone with ill intent, and backup. Whoever they were, they didn't want to be discovered by other people. During the end event, members of Solace discovered a hidden room behind some rubble. In this room was a bedroll, some abandoned pieces of equipment, and a journal. The odd thing about the room was that when someone stepped inside, they would be sent back into the hallway, almost as if they were being teleported or sent back in time. Freya was eventually able to make it inside the room and retrieve the journal. Within its pages was something very disturbing, the same words found in the buried journal from the campfire. This would be so much easier if blank hadn't been so impatient. Now I've been assigned to this cursed planet, scanning for the rest of them. Fortunately, most seem to be present here, so I will be able to complete my task quickly. I must remember that after my mission, I will be rewarded. They will have to increase my rank. I always get the short end of the stick, but now they will be forced to acknowledge me. I'm getting ahead of myself. My research here is almost complete. The readings show 98.4% completion. We are less than 2% away from perfection. I must make another trip to the surface for supplies because I am on the other side of the planet. I have not yet encountered any of the inhabitants, and I am glad for that. What disgusting creatures they are. They should be glad for Project Blank. All our work to make them complete, and they will never know. This journal entry left the members of Solace with more questions than they had answers. Whose name was crossed out? Who were they? What does the 98.4% have to do with perfection? Whoever Cypher was, it was obvious that they were not friendly. Inside the journal were also sketches of 4 people. One seemed human, the rest were unknown. Were these them? Before more research could be made, a war broke out. Monocorp had declared war on the trade route of Monomon, and panic ensued. Audio and videos were released showing perspectives of both sides of the war and criticizing Monocorp's decision. Before we continue, we need to introduce a new character. We Don't Have Many Days, or WDHMD, appeared just after the declaration of war on Monomon. Their identity remains unknown to this day, and they seemingly have access or connections throughout Solace and beyond. Their videos have ranged from personal opinions about factions on Solace to audio logs and videos that would be impossible without connections to Echo. A video was shared that seemed to show parts of the hallways inside the oil rig. But how would they have access to this footage if they didn't already have connections with people inside of Monocorp? This is the question that will be asked time and time again about We Don't Have Many Days. This video was shared with Morse code that says DEFCON J. We assume it was an error. It may have been DEFCON 1, not J. If the message was meant to be DEFCON 1, that would be in reference to Monocorp's level of alert system. DEFCON 1 meaning they are about to go to war. The voice at the end is heard reading the beginning of the document that Monocorp sent out when they declared war on Monomon. This video has 3 different messages in it. Abandon all hope. Abandon ship. Monocorp will be as one. The war continued for months in the background, setting the scene for other events that transpired. As fall began to settle in on Solace, the Arcturus picked up another transmission. Eclipse, this is Cypher. Do you hear me? I copy. What is your status? I have discovered another time anomaly. It seems to be more stable than the last one I found. I was going to use it, but... But what? I think there's a man inside. What? I will need to do more research before I come to any conclusions. I will send an image when I am able. Cypher out. A man inside a time anomaly. Solacians were right to be afraid that Cypher had stumbled across none other than Miraju. Miraju was a warlord and leader of the World's End organization back in the Second Era. If there was anyone who could help Cypher bring disaster to Solace, it would be Miraju. For the last 3 eras, he had been locked in a space called the Time Bubble. It is believed that 1 second outside the bubble equals 1 year inside of it, and that Miraju experienced close to 1 billion years inside this bubble. Upon receiving the image Cypher sent to Eclipse, Solace's fears were realized. Cypher had indeed found Miraju's bubble. Before a decision could be made about what to do, Monocorp's radio tower was rendered useless as it only picked up static. The Arcturus' tech that assisted inhabitants was also inoperative during this time. Suddenly, in the middle of the night, Solace was brought back in time to the First Era. The entire terrain, buildings, even crops were all the same as it had been 5 years ago. Freya held an emergency meeting with as many members of Solace she could find, and assured them that she and Marcella would find a way back. The two worked through the night with little progress, but thankfully the problem seemed to sort itself out. Solace was brought back to the Fifth Era as if nothing had changed. Why did this happen? Was Cypher involved? Solace was left confused as ever. During this period, a new disease began to spread throughout Solace. The amethyst infection, as it was called due to the purple crystals that would form on the infected individuals, originated from a small cluster of crystals at the town center. Some attempted to contain it, preventing its spread, but the crystals had grown deeper and faster than anyone realized. One member of Solace thought the crystals were beautiful and decided to bake it into some baked goods and make them sparkle. This caused the disease to spread exponentially, and it mutated to become contagious through the air. In response to this, a group called the Conflagrators banded together to fight against the infection. The Conflagrators were met with controversy for their methods, with some observing that the fire made the crystals spread faster. Those infected by the crystals became almost zombie-like, controlled by the virus. They created their own group called the Crystal Spirits and built a village for themselves. The Conflagrators used the head researcher of the infection as bait to lure out the infected so they could destroy them. This incident resulted in the Crystal Spirits moving into the skies to escape from the Conflagrators. Things came to a head during a final battle in which the Conflagrators sent massive explosives into the main Crystal Spirit base, destroying the spread once and for all. We Don't Have Many Days posted a video containing music from The Arsonist's Lullaby by Hosier and showed what looked like a journal page being burned. The title of this video is Two Minds Intertwined, and the description says, are they one or two? Some details we can see are the faces drawn on the page, the word echo, and some of the writing. I know you'll never see this now, but I'm sorry. I would do anything to get you back. There are also flashes of words during the video: traitor, savior, only a child. At the end of the video, someone wearing gloves is seen picking up a piece of paper. Is this We Don't Have Many Days? Was this Cypher? It was never confirmed. Later on, We Don't Have Many Days posted a spectrogram and an audio message with a hidden message within the spectrogram. The message contained coordinates to a store in Brazil called Miraju. The audio sped up contains the echo motif, first heard in the end event promo videos. The next video, called Can't Go Back, had an unknown piano piece played backwards. More references of fire are shown in this video. Yet another video posted contained lyrics to Arsonist's Lullaby by Hosier, but one frame in each set of lyrics was changed. When I was 16, my senses fooled me, to when I was 16, I fooled myself. I knew that something would always rule me, to I knew that echo would always rule me. The video ends with all the ashes in my wake, paired with fire. It is theorized that these videos may be referencing Cypher, as echo is mentioned in multiple of them. The final video posted during this set was a video of a wheat field and ended in a sphere of lights. This video had the same piano as an earlier video, but this time played as normal instead of reversed. This sphere of lights could be referencing the time bubble that Miraju was inside. Freya created a puzzle map event for the members of Solace to enjoy, but it was interrupted by a time loop, and strange things started appearing in the map. Buildings were replaced by memories from Miraju and Cypher. Some members of Solace were affected by the time loop, but some were unaffected and able to remember previous loops. During day 1, the castle ruins were instead a large wheat field with a house. This belonged to Miraju's father, and it is where Miraju grew up. We received a message here.
I remember the golden fields by my home at the end of every summer year. The wind grew colder and the sun went dim. We did not live near anybody, nor did we want to. This was the time that Father left town to sell our crop. He would leave me in charge of keeping the house and farm safe. Our little house on the hill, When he left, he would leave the cupboard with enough food for me twice over. He would leave the cupboard with enough water for me twice over. He left me with a dog and a sword to defend myself twice over. We lived far away that he did not worry about people finding our home and hurting us. He cursed the war he was in and the pain he endured. The war is why we live so far from people. Noise of the festival and the people shouting reminded him too much of the war. But he kept his sword. He kept his sword from the war he cursed. He was worried about people finding our home and hurting us. When the man came to the house while Father was gone, he was there on government business. He said Father was needed for another war. This is why Father left every year. This is why he told me never to open the door to strangers. I opened the door, and the dog went wild with the man. He only wanted to give him a greeting to the new friend who knew Father. But the man did not know the dog, and did not know he was friendly. He kicked and shouted at the dog. The dog bit him. He kicked the dog again. The dog did not let go. He grabbed at his waist for a knife and fell on his back. The dog bit harder. He stabbed the dog. The dog yelped and let go. He stabbed the dog again, and again, and again. And I stabbed him. I ran him through with Father's blade. His blood was indistinguishable from the dog's. I knew who bled more, but I did not know which one I killed. Father came back and questioned me. I explained. Father understood. We put his body under the rug, and the dogs in the backyard.
Miraju. After being sealed inside of the time bubble for what felt like possibly billions of years to him, he was still alive. But was he the cause of this time loop? The lighthouse was turned into a holding cell, and we discovered 5 notebook pages thought to belong to Cypher. These are the same pages being burned in the We Don't Have Many Days videos. I don't know where to start. Mom and Dad are gone. That ship in orbit, the one that told us they just wanted to trade, landed and the crew started shooting at us. The ones who didn't get shot were lined up going into the ship. They killed everyone. Just blinked them out of existence one by one, and they had the fucking gall to say it was for our own good. They only let me live because I convinced them I could help, that I could make their machine more efficient. Now they have me locked up in a room. I wish I had died with everyone else. They had me look at the machine they used to... I almost threw up. The tall reptile person told me they still had my family in their database. She said it like it would make me feel better or something. I'm going to take as long as I can working on this thing. Maybe I can find a way to escape. I know you'll never see this now, but I'm sorry. I would do anything to have both of you back. I'm sorry I lived. I'm sorry, Dad, for all the stupid things I argued with you about. None of it mattered. I'm sorry, Mom, for wasting the food you made. I don't have much of an appetite now, but I want your food. Day 2, the village was replaced by a trench mid-war with burning holes in it. We found a message from Miraju here once again.
The world is cruel. People are cruel. But an iron fist can smooth any wrinkle. The world isn't perfect. Iron, cold iron, the master of all men, can cure this imperfection. So I joined the same army my father did. After he was laid to rest, so he could not see his son join. When they came over those hills, trenches, and fields, we did not know what to do. No matter what training they put you through, it does not come back when you are fighting. I was the only one left. I was right. The world is cruel. Its people are cruel. But I will be the iron fist to make peace. I will not let another person suffer. I will not let any other person cause this suffering, like the man at our house, or the soldiers or the generals of this war. I will not let another person live to see it. I found an isolated world to help me with my cause. This world had plenty of people after the Flash. They would join my cause and end the war. We organized and found the perfect place to begin work. I would teach them my technology, and they would build our machines. We would end the world. We would end all suffering.
The ice cave was replaced with what seemed to be Cypher's room on the Echo ship. We also found Cypher's audio recorder here with a log.
Engineer's log 5305. Last night's tests were not a fluke, it works. This morning we traveled to the nearest solar system, and after about an hour of scanning, the DNA of the entire population of that solar system was within our database. Eclipse said she was proud of me, and I think Hunter may have even smiled, though he denied it when I asked. It's not over yet, though. I still need to do some more calculations. The machine heats up quite a bit when working, and I'm afraid it might overheat or even explode if it runs at full capacity for too long, but that's for tomorrow me to worry about. Tonight we celebrate. End log.
With confirmation that both Cypher and Miraju were involved, Solace had a possible reason for the time loop. If Cypher had discovered the time bubble and tried to break it, that would cause major anomalies, including the time loop. However, if Miraju had been freed, the time anomalies would be the least of their problems. On day 3, the shipwreck was replaced with a section of a hallway that belonged to the Trixie, a faction in Era 2 on Solace. We found this message.
The Trixie came to meet with me. Their emperor came to our headquarters and came into my office. He was armed. His guards were armed. Their princess was armed. Only I had father's sword. I told my right hand, Kellen, to enter with me and to see how negotiations are done. I told them we wanted their land. They told me they wanted to survive. I told them I could give them food and water. They told me they wanted to survive. I told them I could give them protection and safety. They told me they wanted to survive. I told them no one would survive, but they would thrive before the end of it all. They brandished their blades. I told Kellen to leave. They attacked me. I cut them down, one by one. I left that room with the Emperor bloodied, the guards dead, and their princess captured. We took Trixie within the week. I ran their leader through his father's blade. His blood was indistinguishable from his people's. I did not know who bled more, but I did know which ones I killed.
The alien ship was replaced by a part of Echo's ship. the room containing what they referred to as the machine. We found Cypher's audio recorder with this message.
Engineer's log 5306. There's a lot to review, but it's not good news. Last night, I woke up to 2 alarms. One was a silent alert that someone had logged into my workstation console, and the other one, which actually woke me up, was a temperature alert from the machine. I rushed to the engineering room and found Eclipse at the console. I could tell the machine had been running for almost as long as I had been asleep, and was overheating to extremely dangerous levels. I warned Eclipse to stop what she was doing, but it was too late. The machine scanner exploded, causing damage to other systems. Eclipse also lost a limb. She hasn't spoken to me since this morning, so I have no idea what she was thinking. There is another piece of news that I haven't even fully processed myself. It appears that before the machine exploded, it collected over 90% of DNA from the universe. Yeah, the universe. I don't fully believe it, but after some repairs, we're going to take the ship to another galaxy to do some scans. I suppose my job is almost done here, but after all the damage, it might be better to start from scratch. End log.
This message changed everything. Was this the cause of the Great Anomaly? Was this what caused 90% of the universe's population to disappear? If Echo was the cause, did this mean that there was a way to bring back those who were lost? And was Echo trying to finish the job? On day 4, the mountain was replaced with a fortress-like structure. It had an armory and an office within it, and inside the office, we got this message.
Our forces had dwindled, and we had lost many battles. Our morale was low, our numbers were low, our chances of victory were low. I did not despair. The universe favors me. I am the universe's favorite. I should have won. We did not win. Their forces had taken the stronghold and held it. They and their people celebrated, and I cowered. For the first time in my life, I cowered and fled. I told them to activate the machine to save me, to save our dream. We saved our mission, but I am alone. I am at home once more.
The underground bunker was replaced with the secret room from the end event earlier in the season. This was confirmed to be a place Cypher was hiding temporarily. We found his audio recorder with this message on it.
Engineer's log 7272. This would have been so much easier if Eclipse hadn't been so impatient. Now I've been assigned to this cursed planet, scanning for the rest of them. Fortunately, most seem to be present here, so I'll be able to complete my task quickly. I must remember that after my mission, I'll be rewarded. We'll have to increase my rank. I always get the short end of the stick, but now they'll be forced to acknowledge me. I'm getting ahead of myself again. The research here is almost complete. The readings show 98.4% completion. We're less than 2% away from perfection. I need to make another trip to the surface for supplies. Since I'm on the other side of the planet, I have not encountered any of the inhabitants, and I'm grateful for that. They're disgusting creatures. Should be glad for Project Echo. All of our work to make them complete, and they'll never know.
This was the same log that we found in the hidden room, and the same as the burnt journal page. All of the pieces were coming together to paint the picture of who Cypher was. On day 5, the raft was replaced by a giant, floating, glowing orb, thought to be the time bubble. Inside the sphere, the walls were completely covered by clocks that said billions. We found this message.
Never did I expect that I would fall into these pits of cowardice. Falling from the throne of the world is a long fall. Utter uselessness and desolation is what I felt, letting myself succumb to my foolishness, to my arrogance, My hubris and my pride revealed things I did not know, emotions I had not felt. Now I had become like the fool I cursed in battle. Men had died for me, trusting me. Ultimately, their lives meant nothing. Souls of men I did not care for, wasted. Tools at my disposal. Rationalizing the usage of people as numbers was something I had become too fond of. Even though my father cursed this thought process. Pity. Each time I think back to those battles, and I feel pity. Not to say I did not feel them, but I feel it more now. They did not deserve me as their leader, for I could not save them from their demise.
The Cherry Grove village was replaced by a camp with a fire and workstations. We found Cypher's audio recording with this message.
Engineers log 7273. I was forced to move locations due to their force field expanding. I had to leave behind some personal belongings to make space for my instruments. I have made camp near a forest and should be safe now. End log.
Day 6, the abandoned house was replaced with a very distorted depiction of the time bubble, as well as the same camp we saw in the previous loop. Cypher's audio recorder was found nearby with these messages.
Engineers log 7295. I have encountered a strange anomaly near my base. It seems to bend time around it and quite possibly inside of it. I may be wrong, but there appears to be a being of some kind inside of it. I've decided to pause my main mission in favor of researching this anomaly. End log. Personal log 554. This time-bending sphere I found is fascinating. If I can harness the same capabilities, maybe I could bring back... Perhaps I could reverse the damage done to the machine 3 years ago and prevent all of this from happening. I need some time off after this. I'm going to begin by hooking up some of my sensors to it and monitor the readings. End log. Personal log 555. Something very odd happened. The readings spiked dramatically for a few minutes, and then the terrain around me changed. I've never seen anything like this before. The readings have stabilized for now, but I'm gonna see if I can recreate this event. End log. Personal log 556. I was successful in recreating the event, and now the terrain has reverted back to what it was before. I'm still unsure of what happened, but I suppose I'm making some sort of progress, I guess. End log. Personal log 557. I haven't been making any real progress here. This bubble is stubborn. I can still see the being inside of it, which I'm sure is finding my research laughable. I've decided to try and enter the bubble. I understand that this is a bad idea, but after that one incident, the bubble has been completely stable. If anything, it will age me a few years or something, I guess. I have this strange feeling, as if the being inside wants me to enter the bubble.
Cypher had entered the time bubble with Miraju, and for every second Solace was experiencing outside of this bubble, they were both experiencing what felt like a year of time passing. At this point, Cypher had most likely experienced close to 80,000 years with Miraju. The volcano, which was not used in the original puzzle map Freya had created, was replaced by a massive glowing sphere. At the top, we discovered one last message from Miraju.
I will never understand how you feel about my goals. I do not care. Let me go. Let me finish what I started. Let me save them. Let me save you. I have done my time. I have spent billions of years in this prison. I have spent them all in preparation for the final chapter, let me call the curtains to a close. Set me free, Cypher. I will not forget what you have done for me. I will save you as well.
After this final message, the time loop ended. Solasians came to the conclusion that Cypher had indeed freed Miraju from the time bubble and was possibly working with him. There was no telling how powerful of a duo they would become. The next few months were eerily quiet from Cypher, until the Arcturus intercepted a message between Cypher and Eclipse on what we believe is Echo's ship. Eclipse, come in. It's Cypher. Cypher, where have you been? It's been weeks since we've had contact with you. Listen, I need to tell you something about the people on this planet. They're not worth collecting. Not worth it, but they're the last 10%. At this point, Captain Marcello suggested that they cut the transmission, preventing further communication. Freya agreed and brought together any faction leaders who were available. Among them were Comet from the Librarians, Ladice from Monomon, and Krufik from Frostfire. Marcello then informed the group that they could send a fake message in return, pretending to be Eclipse. After some tense discussion, they decided to move forward with it. The people here don't deserve Project Echo. They deserve to be eradicated. Why do they deserve to be eradicated? I can't explain it now, but I've seen things, Eclipse. The inhabitants are destructive, despicable creatures. Eclipse, there's no time for this. We need to act. What have you seen? What have they done? War. Nothing but war and injustice and inhumanity. Their own leaders are corrupt and don't care what happens to their subjects. War was commonplace across the universe until we acted. Do not throw away everything we've worked for by going against the plan now. The device will make them perfect. Cypher, you know this. These people don't deserve to be reborn. Their flaw is something deeper than genetics. Why should I wait to annihilate them all? We've already taken most of the life from this place already. What you're saying is against everything we've worked towards. All of the universe is flawed. That's why we created Project Echo. Don't lose sight of our goal now that we're so close. Project Echo wouldn't exist without me. You know that. Only I know how the machine works. You can't achieve your goals without me. Eclipse, hello? I seem to have lost connection with you. I've discussed with the crew, and due to your insubordinate behavior, we've decided to use the Echo device to create a more obedient version of you. Goodbye, Cypher. What? You can't do that to me. I've sacrificed my entire life to complete this project, and you throw me away? Eclipse? Are you really gone? Just like that? In the end, they successfully tricked Cypher into believing Echo had abandoned and replaced him. Contact was lost with both parties afterwards. We Don't Have Many Days released a video soon afterwards insinuating Cypher's destructive return.
They can replace me. They can shut me out. But they will not forget me. They will never forget me. I will finish it myself.
A few months after the transmission cut, a shadowy figure began to appear on Solace. Multiple reports from around Solace showed the figure around buildings, and it was never confirmed who it was. Soon after this figure began appearing, strange readings came from beyond the protective border. Whatever it was approaching quickly and was very large. Freya warned the people of Solace and gathered a group to meet whatever this was. When they arrived, Solasians discovered a robot army created by Cypher, set to destroy them. Cypher taunted the Solasians through comms on the army while they fought, combining psychological and physical warfare. In the end, Cypher was defeated, but he promised to be back. We Don't Have Many Days posted another video, this time asking if Solasians regret their decisions during this era. Most likely this is specifically referencing making Cypher believe he was abandoned. Missiles can be seen behind the text in the video, making many wonder whether or not Cypher's next move was to send missiles onto Solace. They also posted images taken inside and around missile silos, and an audio recording called Intercepted that was impossible to understand. Freya sent out a message to all of Solace, telling them to prepare for a final battle with both Cypher and Miraju. Members of Solace, I fear our planet may be in danger. The crew of the Arcturus and I have been working to monitor this situation, but unfortunately it seems to have escalated into a larger threat. Tomorrow we believe that Cypher will be attempting to destroy Solace. We believe he may have made contact with others, specifically a familiar threat, Miraju. We are preparing an invasion of their main base tomorrow and invite any members of Solace to join our forces. If we don't act, the lives of everyone on this planet may be in jeopardy. Just before this battle, Eris, the leader of Monocorp, was found collaborating with Miraju. EOCB-8, their right hand, took action and decapitated Eris. This was the beginning of the end for Monocorp.
Oh, yes, I see. Well, I think our vessel might be able to,
What are you doing?
Oh, hi, dear. I was just doing routine checks on the radio, you know?
You know we don't perform routine checks here.
Uh, well, it's still good to check once in a while, right?
You have to understand. He really does have the best intention for the world. I mean, really, who would risk their life like that for a worthless goal? Clearly he had the right ideals in mind if he was willing to die for them, but I guess that was his plan all along. All we need to do is bring him back with Orthicana. She's rated for beyond border conditions, right? Surely she could do it. I mean, really, think about all the good he could do for the world. Sounds like a good plan. Right, dear?
I expected better of you.
In the early morning, Salacians infiltrated Cypher and Miraju's base of operations, discovering 6 missile silos and an underground bunker. Cypher and Miraju spoke over the PA system and began arming the missiles. Well, 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 you've discovered us. Unfortunately for you, you're too late. You only managed to defeat me last time because I was alone. This time I have others, some even within your own kind. There is no hope for you now. I will succeed. I will have purpose. Arm the first missile. Goodbye, vermin. Frostfire, the FRI, and Monocorp were all lost to missiles, but the rest were disarmed. A chain reaction caused the missiles to self-destruct, and the Salacians evacuated the area. One last echo from the PA system revealed Cypher's death at the hand of Miraju, betrayed at the final moment. No, no, no! It wasn't supposed to be this way! Miraju, what do we do? Miraju? Shame. If only you were Kellen. And that was the last the people of Solace heard from Cypher or Miraju. In the aftermath, the librarians searched the facility for any information they could gather, and they discovered this audio recording, saved in the logs.
You're probably the only one who understands what needs to happen here. You've witnessed firsthand the cruelty they're capable of. Together we can bring justice to Solace. We can put an end to the disgusting, miserable excuse for life on this planet.
My plan will continue regardless of your sightings, Cypher. Your technological expertise is a benefit, yes. But the final act of my life's greatest work was always destined to succeed.
The missiles are complete. Our plan is finally coming to fruition. I don't know how you remain so calm. My hands are shaking just thinking about it. Don't let me hesitate, Miraju. Press the button for me if you have to.
Why would you hesitate? The Salacians have been existing solely on borrowed time. This was always their fate in our righteous duty. We will press the button together, Cypher.
The people of Solace returned to their homes, some to rebuild and some as they were. Was the threat of Echo finally gone? Would Solace finally become peaceful after coming together against imminent destruction? Only time would tell what would become of Echo and the remaining people of Solace. They had avoided destruction, but little did they know that this was simply the beginning.